The Qatar World Cup is imminent. I am very excited for it, albeit it's a very controversial tournament and it's in a very strange time of the year. But now we're in the week of the tournament starting. I am generally looking forward to it. But the really weird thing for me, being a Nottingham Forest supporter, is we've got 5 of our own lads out there playing in this tournament. I've never experienced that before, ever. Before getting to the video, I want to mention one thing. Of course, my main content on this channel is solely Nottingham Forest. I do other stuff as well, but to do international football, I've never really ventured into that kind of area. But if you want me to cover the World Cup, please just let me in the comments below and I will definitely do it, because I'm going to watch pretty much every game. So I'll definitely be able to do that. And also, I've got to mention this. Thank you for 4,000 subscribers. It means the absolute world to me. I absolutely love doing this channel. I never thought I'd ever make it a success. All the brilliant comments and messages of support that I get, I still kind of find really quite surreal, to be honest. So I appreciate everything. Here's to many more milestones. Hit the like button and subscribe, and let's see how far we can get. Starting off with the Welsh lads, Neco Williams, a very, very talented young player, 21 years of age, when he played for his country 23 times. He's got 2 goals as well. He played 90 minutes in the 8 qualification games that Wales had to play. They came second in their qualification group. Of course, they had to go on and beat Ukraine in the playoffs. Neco tends to play on the left for Wales. There's not really any other left-sided players that can really challenge him, apart from Ben Davies, who typically tends to play as a centre-back for his country. And on the right, where Neco is obviously more naturally in that position, there's Chris Gunter. He must be about 50 at this stage, and obviously Connor Roberts of Burnley. So Neco is likely to play pretty much every single game at this tournament, and probably could even play every single minute. I think he really is going to be that important to them. The way he goes about it on the pitch, he's versatile, he's young, he's obviously very quick as well. I think he could be a really useful player for Wales at this tournament, and I'm looking forward to seeing how he does. Of course, we've got one of our own going as well with Wales, Brennan Johnson. He wasn't even at the Euros last year off the back of that fantastic loan he had at Lincoln, but since then he couldn't really have come on any bigger leaps or bounds if he tried, coming up to the Premier League, being a Premier League regular, Championship Young Player of the Year last season as well. I really think he's going to be a vital member of this squad. He's played 90 minutes in a row for Wales. I'm looking forward to seeing where he plays as well. He could play out wide, of course. He could play up front like he does with Forest. I doubt he'll play up front on his own. It'll probably be in a 2 with maybe Gareth Bale or Kiefer Moore. If he's on the wing, he's going to be competing with the likes of Harry Wilson, Dan James, Sorba Thomas, Mark Harris, as well as Cardiff. So I think Brennan could be really important. And we're talking about pace like with Neco. Brennan on that right hand side will be coming up against Luke Shaw for England. I'm going to put my money on Jono getting the best of him, to be honest. One more Welshman, of course, Wayne Hennessey, 106 caps and 47 clean sheets for his country. It's his 2nd major tournament with Wales. Of course, the other one being Euro 2016, when Wales defied the odds and got to the semi-finals of that tournament. This is Wales' first World Cup, of course, since the 1950s. It is going to be a very emotional tournament for Wales regardless. His only real competition, of course, is Danny Ward of Leicester. Ward obviously was really bad for Leicester at the start of the season, but he has picked up recently. That might make it a bit harder for Hennessey to get in the group stages. For instance, Ward was the first choice goalkeeper for Wales. But I do think, well, I don't think, the last several games for Wales since the group stages of the qualification, it has been Hennessey that's been favoured ahead of Ward. So it's going to be interesting to see who gets the nod in goal. Switzerland have one representative from Forest, this of course being Remo Freuler, very likely to play a very big part in this Swiss team, likely to be paired in a 2 with Granit Xhaka in the middle of that midfield. I think that's a fantastic midfield for Switzerland. Freuler's been a regular for his country since the Nations League in 2019, and he actually played like 90% of every game at the Euros last year until he was sent off in that quarter-final match against Spain. It is Freuler's 2nd World Cup, however he hasn't actually played a game yet because he was on the bench in all their games last time out. So I think it'll be a very different story this time. I think Freuler will play most minutes. He played 5 of the 6 games in qualifying for this tournament. Of course, a group in which Switzerland won, beating the European champions Italy to first place, and Italy, of course, going on to not qualify, which as an England fan I have to laugh at. Even though I think Freuler will play most minutes and will start most games, I find it fascinating that Switzerland have 9 midfielders in this squad. I'm not even talking attacking midfielders, they're either central midfielders or defensive midfielders. So they want to be covered, don't they? Freuler, of course, he goes about his business rather quietly, but he always is a very effective player, and he's a player that I've heavily grown to love in this Forest team. Of course, he started quite slow. I was partially criticising him, saying he shouldn't be starting. He's not been as good as I thought he would be, but I really do see now why we signed him, why he's playing the Champions League, why he's a regular for Switzerland, and I think he's going to be great again at this tournament for them. The last actual Nottingham Forest player currently going to this tournament is Cheikhou Kouyate. He's the second oldest Forest player going to this tournament behind Wayne Hennessey, of course. He's played 82 times for Senegal since 2012, so he's been going for quite some time. Played 4 of the 6 games in qualifying, in which Senegal quite comfortably won their qualification group, where they also went on to beat Egypt in the knockout phases of the qualification round. He won the AFCON earlier on this year as well with Senegal, and he's been rather in and out of the team this last year. He's started quite a lot of games, but he's also had lots of games where he's not been in the team as well. So I'd say it's more likely than unlikely he'll play quite a lot of games, start a few matches as well. We'll be interested to see whether he does or not. And when it comes to him as a player, his physicality, his ability to keep the ball in very tight situations, I think could be vital to the way that Senegal play. And a lot of people are saying Senegal are going to be an underdog at this tournament, a dark horse, and I feel that is very accurate. I think Senegal, looking at their entire team, has some really good players in it. If Kouyate was to start, I think it would be most likely that it would play alongside the likes of Gana Gay or Mendy in that midfield, and it's also useful that Kouyate can play as a centre-back, of course, and I'd say it's more likely that it would start in the midfield. So they're the 5 Nottingham Forest players going to this tournament, but we've actually got 5 more going that are officially contracted to Nottingham Forest, but obviously they're not currently playing for us, and quite frankly I think at least 2 of these probably won't play for us ever. The first one being Ethan Horvath. I think there's a chance he might play for us again. Of course, he's currently out on loan at Luton. He's been playing every single game besides one, kept 8 clean sheets in the Championship this season. However, I don't expect him to play many minutes for the US. He's got 8 caps since 2016. He's been their backup goalkeeper pretty much the entire time. His best moment for sure was saving the last-ditch penalty against Mexico in the 3-2 win in the CONCACAF Nations League last year. He's got to face competition with Matt Turner of Arsenal, their backup goalkeeper, and Sean Johnson of New York City FC. So I don't really see Horvath playing. It would be great if he does, but I have a feeling it would probably be Turner be their number 1. Ritchie Laryea is also going to this World Cup representing Canada. He's out on loan currently at Toronto. He's played 33 times for his country, scored 1 goal against Bermuda. The only real competition he's got at right back is Alistair Johnson, who plays over in the MLS, and Johnson also can play as a centre-back, which would make it even easier for Laryea to get in. So I think Ritchie Laryea will actually play most minutes in this Canada team. It's an incredible achievement as well that Canada are at the World Cup, and I wish Laryea all the best. Now this is a player that I know very, very little about because he's never even played a minute of football for us before, and he's only 19. Brandon Aguilera. We signed him in the summer and immediately loaned him back out to the Costa Rican division, and that of course is the country that he is representing. He's already played 5 times for his country, like I say, at just the age of 19. He's yet to play a full 90 minutes in any of those games. He's the only other attacking midfielder in this team besides 37-year-old, which is mad to think there's a 37-year-old going to this tournament, Brian Ruiz. Of course, a bit of a hero for Costa Rica. With his club, Aguilera has played 10 times, and I'm not even going to attempt to say the name of his club because I will completely butcher that, but they're bottom currently of the Costa Rican league, so the fact that Aguilera has still been called up, you've got to give him credit for that. He's obviously a very exciting young player, and he's actually coming back to Forest quite soon because his loan was not the entire season, it was 6 months, so who knows, you might see him soon in a Forest shirt. 2 more internationals going to this tournament that are out on loan currently from Forest. Mohamed Drager being another one. he's literally never played a game for Forest, and I highly doubt he's ever going to play for us, but I think I have to include him. If I'm going to include all players going to the World Cup that are contracted to Forest, I'm going to include Drager. He's played 14 times for Luzern over in Switzerland, and he's already got 3 goals actually for them from right back. He's never played a game for Forest, like I say. He was on the bench once in a goalless draw away at West Brom last season, and that was literally the only time he even got close to getting on the pitch for us. He's played 33 times for Tunisia. He's likely to play pretty much every game for them. There's not really much competition at right back in that Tunisia side. I look forward to seeing him play. If I do watch a Tunisia match in depth, I'd like to actually see if he's worth ever bringing back to Forest. And there's one more player I'm even less confident that this guy will actually play for us. Hwang, who's currently out on loan at Olympiacos, a striker. He's played 49 times for South Korea, got 16 goals, 2 of them in qualifying. He wasn't selected for the last World Cup, but he's at this one. I mean, who knows? I genuinely don't really know what to say about this guy. Like, I've tried my best to say as much detail as possible about all these players, but Hwang is a real unknown one because we've never even seen him play for my club, you know. He does face competition. I mean, you know, Hwang from Wolves, for instance, he's more of a winger, but he is technically classified as a centre forward. Obviously, Son Heung-min, he does often play up front for South Korea. It's obviously gigantic competition for him to try and compete with him. He's not been doing that well for Olympiacos on what I know though, Hwang, so I don't know whether he'll play much in this team, but the fact that he's been selected, he's obviously got to be worth taking. I can't wait to see these lads play at this tournament. I'm so excited for the World Cup to start. I really am. Even though it's obviously a controversial subject, it's still the World Cup. I'm still excited to watch it. I will be covering it on this channel, but like I say, I want to know, you know, would you people watching, would you want me to do that, and how would you want me to do that? Because I've never really covered a major tournament before properly. So yeah, thanks for watching everyone. I'll see you very soon. There will be more proper Forest, you know, out and out Forest content coming and all sorts. I'm going to try my best to be consistent over this break. So yeah, thanks for watching. Like and subscribe, and I'll see you very soon.